welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra and today I am in Kochi to drive Mahindra Thar Roxx and I will tell you more about it, but you first see what's on the show today. Review of the much awaited Thar Roxx. Classic Legends brings back BSA motorcycles. Tata Motors Curvv EV review. Walk around of updated Royal Enfield Classic 350. Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto. I am driving the Thar Roxx today, the 5-door version of Thar that was much awaited. But will it have a rocking party at the sales chart? Let's find out. Thar Roxx at over 4.4 meters is obviously longer than the 3-door Thar. The wheelbase stands at 2.85 meters, considerably longer than the 3-door Thar. In terms of looks too, a lot has changed. Up front, you get a 6-slat grille and the grille has a small line in the middle which divides it in two parts. And when I saw it in pictures, I did not like it much, but in person, I actually have grown to appreciate it. You get C-shaped DRLs flanking the projector LED headlamps in this top variant. The bumper and the fender carry on the looks from the 3-door Thar. It's at the size that you notice the major changes. Let me start with the wheels. Here in this top variant, you get 19-inch alloys. 255 by 60 profile tires fill the large wheel arches well. The rear door looks quite small but opens at 90 degrees, helping in ingress and egress. And there is a footboard too to help you in that. The treatment of the C-pillar has got internet divided. It hasn't grown on us yet, but hopefully it will grow on us over the due course. There are some not so likable bits on the side profile. For example, the treatment of the roof where there is a notch and it looks a bit odd, and also odd is the placement of the rear door handle which sits on the C-pillar. There aren't that many changes at the rear in terms of looks. There is a small treatment change of the tail lamp. You still get spare wheel mounted at the tailgate, but the big change is that you get a decent amount of boot space. At 447 liters, it's enough to carry your family's weekend getaways luggage. On the inside, there's a complete overhaul and it makes sense too. Thar Roxx has to cater to a family's every need, and that's what M&M have tried to do. The front seats, though not very large and will probably be uncomfortable for larger size people, get ventilated seats and the driver's side is electrically adjustable. You get a 10.25-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is the same screen that we have seen in XUV 3XO. You also get a 10.25-inch driver display which is customizable. You get a 9-speaker Harman Kardon system, automatic AC, electronic parking brake and auto hold functions. You get all powered windows and a movable armrest for the driver. However, the in-cabin space is a little compromised like it was in the earlier Thar. The glove box size is rather small. There are door pockets on the front door and the rear door, but they are all very small. The area under the armrest is also just about enough. But you do get 2 cup holders for the front passengers. Now let's talk about the second row. The entry and exit to the second row is aided by that well-placed grab handle. Once seated, you will notice that there is ample amount of leg space and headroom. However, thigh support is a little compromised. It's compromised on the front seat as well and compromised at the rear seat as well. The rear seat is wide enough for 3 people to sit with some adjustments. However, the center passenger will have to make do with immovable headrest. The floor is absolutely flat, so that's gonna aid the center seating. There are rear AC vents and charging points available for the rear passengers. Now let's talk about safety features. You get 6 airbags as standard. You also get level 2 ADAS features. There is a 360-degree camera and lane keep assist. Before I start talking about the drive and the engine of this car, let's talk about some of the features you get that you appreciate while driving the car. One of them is 360-degree camera. One of my biggest complaints with Thar 3-door was that it did not even get a rear camera, and it became really difficult with low visibility all around with that big car to be able to park your car comfortably. This 360-degree camera is a big help. In terms of features, Thar Roxx is definitely several steps ahead of Thar 3-door. Now you get an auto dimming IRBM, which is rimless, and it looks quite nice and adds that premium touch to the cabin. Even in terms of fit and finish, I think the fit and finish, the quality of materials used here feel a lot more premium compared to the earlier Thar. And while in the 3-door Thar there was very little space and very little conveniences given to the second row, in this one the second row passengers even get a reclining seat. You get a commanding position once you sit on the driver's seat. Visibility is alright, but you will need that 360-degree camera once in a while. The Thar Roxx that I'm driving today is the 152 HP diesel with manual transmission and 4x4 capability. After spending almost half a day driving around on the roads of Kochi, I am happy to report that I'm quite impressed with the way this car drives. The engine performs well, there is power available, and when you need to overtake or push the car a little bit, you will have enough power available for you to do so. And even when you are in that stop-start traffic and you notice that RPMs drop below 2000 RPMs, maybe 1200 RPMs, you will still be able to pick up the car without having to downshift every time, making your ride a little bit more comfortable in that stop-start traffic. The ride quality is much improved from the 3-door Thar, but you will still notice that it's all the stiffer side and you will feel the bumps inside the car. But again, I must emphasize on the fact that it is much improved from what we have seen in the 3-door Thar. There is a bit of body roll that you will notice, but nothing more than what you would expect from an SUV. But yes, you will have to be a little bit more careful while taking sharp turns. What has really impressed me is the noise levels. The noise levels inside the car are really contained and make sure that you enjoy your Harman Kardon music system. But when you do need to downshift or change gears, you will notice that the gear throws are a bit longer, but the clutch action is slightly on the springy side, but not uncomfortable. The braking action might need a little getting used to because the brake feel is a bit grabby. Though we did not get extensive time with the Thar Roxx, but the first impressions of the car has left us impressed. While the 3-door was much loved, it was a huge compromise for a family, and many potential owners were deterred by its lack of space and features. Mahindras have now rectified that. Roxx is now packed with features and is spacious enough for families. Starting introductory price of Rs 12.99 lakhs will definitely draw the customers to its showrooms. The top variants are expected to cross over 20 lakhs, and while there is a risk of Roxx cannibalizing the sales of its sister products like Thar 3-door, Scorpio N and even XUV 700, Thar Roxx is definitely going to attract many buyers, and I won't be surprised if there is a long waiting period for this one because of heavy demand. If you too are interested in buying Thar, let me tell you that test drives at the dealerships are starting from 14 September onwards. Bookings to open on 3rd October and deliveries to start around Dussehra. Royal Enfield has updated its most popular classic 350. King Shukdatta tells you what's new.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2024 Royal Enfield Classic 350. It has been updated for 2024 with 7 new color options, each better than the other. Apart from that, the motorcycle now gets LED lighting. The headlight is LED and so is the tail light, and now you also get a gear shift indicator here on the instrument console. If the camera can pan towards here, you can see here you have a gear shift indicator, and you also have this hidden USB charger. It's just slightly difficult to reach, but there you can see the USB charger is right here. And the motorcycle now also gets dual channel ABS as standard. On the previous model it was optional, but on this bike it is standard. Like 7 new color options, like we told you. This particular model gets a nice matte finish, and you can see these accessories, these luggage options from Napa Dori. So yes, Royal Enfield is collaborating with Napa Dori for merchandise. You can buy that very soon, and the prices of this particular model will be revealed on September 1st. So there's still some time before you can know the prices of the Royal Enfield Classic 350. Deliveries of the motorcycle will begin from September itself, and Royal Enfield says that bookings for the new Classic 350 have already begun across its showrooms in India.
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. Tata Motors has launched its mid-size coupe SUV Curvv, but in EV guys first. Mohit Bharadwaj brings you the review.
Curves, they are important for all the wrongful and the rightful reasons. Well, in terms of aesthetic, they just boost your appeal. And if I talk of mathematics, you're getting the sales curve in an inclination fashion. That means your operational profits are sorted. And when we are talking of race lines, if you are ahead of the curve, hitting the apex right, that means you're winning the race. And Tata Motors is trying to do just that with this, the newest launch in the Indian car market, and it is called the Curvv. Now what exactly the Curvv is trying to target in the Indian market? Well, that's what I'll be telling you in this video today, so stay tuned till the end, and without any further ado, let's kick things off aesthetics first. The Curvv, it gets right amount of curves, cuts, creases and lines, and all of that makes it look appealing. Yes, they have boosted its aesthetic appeal for sure. Now talking of its design highlight, I certainly like the silhouette, but from certain angles it looks like a coupe SUV, versus from a select few angle it looks more like a 3-box car. Now giving you a perspective of its dimensions and road presence, I have to say that this is roughly as big as the Hyundai Creta, and that's where the existence of Curvv lies. As a matter of fact, all of us know that mid-size SUV space is currently the most heated one, and also the biggest contender there, the Hyundai Creta, comes with a lot of features. And with this, Tata Motors has tried their best. Now what it gets is a larger 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment unit, a 10.25-inch instrument cluster, and I have to say both of these displays are crisp. Another thing that Curvv has on its key rival is that it gets wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which none of the Koreans have got it yet. Now coming down to the center console, you have a touch enabled climate control unit, and it also gets your controls for the power tailgate at the rear and that power charging port. Now this is a shift by wire lever. It's going to be the same on the ICE models, but we're going to talk about the electric, and as I say electric, it also gets an electronic parking brake along with auto hold function. There's a wireless phone charger here, but if you're rich enough to afford a larger iPhone Pro Max, it won't fit here. You can only fit in smaller phones. Now the center console has some storage space, but it's not very deep. But the storage spaces that Tata has got right is this damped glove box along with door bins, where you can even store an umbrella. Now another thing over the Nexon that the Curvv is getting is a larger panoramic sunroof, and there is an increment of 30mm to its wheelbase. But where has that been utilized? Because the front row of the Curvv looks quite like the Nexon. Well, that's on the rear. While the front row seats are comfortable, the case on the rear seat is even better, I have to say. The seat squab is wide and it has enough to give you ample under thigh support. Although in the EV variant the floor is slightly jacked up because of the battery placement, but you can stretch your legs out and under the front row of seats so that you can have a comfortable journey from the second row as well. And talking of features, you're getting a 45-watt Type-C USB charger over here along with a center armrest. And now with this sloping roof, there's ample of headroom over here. Tata Motors has done an intelligent and creative job of scooping out the headliner to give you that slightly more headroom. It's time to talk about the way Curvv EV drives. Well, to start things off, I'll brief you about the specifications first. So there are two battery pack options, 55 kilowatt hour and 45 kilowatt hour. Now the peak torque of the motor remains the same, 215 Newton meters, which might sound quite low on paper, but in the real world, understand it in a way that 215 Newton meters right from the word go. On talking of peak power output, the 55 kilowatt hour battery pack gives you around 163 horsepower, while with the 45 kilowatt hour battery pack you get only 150 horsepower. Now with the more powerful iteration, the Curvv EV manages to do its 0 to 100 kmph sprint in only 8.6 seconds, which is quite phenomenal, I have to say. Now coming down to the suspension, so it's an EV, it is quite heavy, and that you can feel on the steering wheel as well. But the suspension manages to do a great job here by keeping the ride and handling character in check. So we are riding it here on wet and winding roads of Udaipur's Raita Hill, but the Curvv EV is managing to keep us stay planted on the road and boost our confidence levels. Well, we have had some sketchy moments with this. That is largely because of the tires. So a good set of tires might cost you some range, but they will increase the overall versatility or the driving behavior of this car, and it will be more fun to push it around the corners. The brakes, they are progressive as well, and you're getting 3-level regenerative braking, so single pedal driving in the city is possible, I can say that. Now coming back to the steering wheel, since the car is heavy and it rides on 18-inch 215 section tires, you can feel the heft on the wheel as well. And also, since this wheel is borrowed from the Harrier or the Safari, it is a size big for my liking. I think the original Nexon EV's steering wheel would have been a more fun affair to push the Curvv EV around these ghat roads. Since it's an EV, the NVH levels are well controlled, but what you're getting is AVAS. So the Curvv EV produces a very gimmicky, finicky and electronic sound up and until speeds of 20 kmph to alert pedestrians that there's a silent electric vehicle right behind them. While the comfortable ride remains its great capability, the Curvv EV is safe as well. You're getting 6 airbags as standard, and along with that you have the option to opt for level 2 ADAS, which comes with a multitude of functions like active lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control and also emergency brake assist. And this car is getting 360-degree parking camera, which makes for an easy job to muscle this car in city and out of tight parking spots. It is a great handler, I would say, and that is largely because of the low center of gravity. Tata Motors says that the center of gravity is right around where the rolling axis would be. So the car has very low chances of tipping over, and in an enthusiast point of view, that means you can push it harder. Now along with that, A-pillars are slightly thick, so they create a large blind spot, but otherwise you have a great commanding view of the road. But the rearward visibility from that sloping roof and small windscreen, that I would say is slightly compromised. Now another aspect of electric vehicles is the charging time. Well, Tata Motors is claiming that Curvv EV can be charged by up to a charger of 70 kilowatts. So the fast charging means that you can have 150 kilometers of top up in just 15 minutes and 10 to 80% in only 40 minutes. In summation, Tata Motors has got the curves right. Now in terms of interior space, there's an ample amount of it for 4 occupants, and the Curvv is feature loaded too. In terms of driving performance, I think the powertrain is potent. With the long range options, it can keep you charged for your 4 to 5 days of commute, and when you plan to take a long haul, you would not have to take a lot of charging stops. And now I have to say that with the pricing starting at rupees 17.49 lakh, it feels justified. Now the things that Tata Motors can work upon is the software glitches. Now we have seen a couple of instances with the car where the DRL was not working flawlessly. So these are few niggles that we could spot, and we're sure that Tata Motors will be able to sort this out. And by getting all of those things right, this will be a patent seller in the market. And also this makes us wait for the ICE variant. Why so? Because when you want to grab a bite from the best selling midsize SUV, well, it's the petrol or the diesel powertrain that are the most preferred ones at this moment in the country. So Tata Curvv's ICE variants are what we are looking forward to drive, because after all, we're certainly impressed with the Curvv's EV variant. And with this, I'm your host Mohit Bhardwaj. Will now take a leave, but before I sign off, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's my humble request, please do so. Also share this video with your friends who are eagerly waiting for the Curvv EV, or in fact its ICE variant, and keep watching our channel for more such videos. For now, adios.
It was a busy week for Mahindras. Mahindra-owned classic legends brings back BSA Gold Star 650, which is ready to compete with Royal Enfield 650 twins. King Shukdatta reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to NDTV Auto, and what we have today with us is the BSA Gold Star 650. Yes, the first modern BSA to be launched in India. Prices start at 2,99,000 rupees ex-showroom, introductory of course. And look at this motorcycle, it's a gorgeous, good looking, modern classic motorcycle. Yes, very retro design, very stylish. The fit and finish right now seems to be really good. Now, this gets a 652cc single cylinder engine. Yes, single cylinder engine, and it makes about 45 brake horsepower and 55 Newton meters of peak torque. There's a 5-speed gearbox at both ends. You get Brembo brakes, that's right, Brembo brakes, 18-inch spoke wheel up front, 17-inch wheel at the rear, and both spoke wheels are shod with Pirelli Phantom Sportcom tires. Yes, now come closer and look at this nice instrument console, very retro. Now what we don't like is the fact that there's quite a bit of a gap. These could have been slightly closer. Circular twin port instrument console, there's a display here as well, and as you can see here, there's a USB charger and a Type-C port to charge your devices on the go. Fit and finish right now seems to be really good, but we will be riding this motorcycle in the real world very soon and get your comprehensive review. Apart from that, if you look behind me, you can see all the color options that the motorcycle will be available in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 color options. Like I said, prices start at 2,99,000 rupees. It will go directly against the Royal Enfield 650cc parallel twin motorcycles, the Interceptor, whose prices start at 3,03,000 rupees.
Well, that's all from us today, but our auto coverage continues on our various social media platforms and on NDTV Auto YouTube channel. So do subscribe and don't forget to press that bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a video. Thanks for watching.